Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chrissy Mayer podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. If you're listening to us on iTunes right now, please go and leave a 5-star review. For example, here's a review from Wang Chung Double D. This review reads, P.S. Please send nudes. Yep, that's the whole review. And guess what? I read it because it's 5 stars. So thank you guys so much for the reviews. People always ask me, started OnlyFans, but I feel like if I did, you guys would be like, it wouldn't be good enough. You'd be like, your boobs are too perfect. You guys would never be happy. Very excited to let you know. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. They are the best in below-the-waist trimming with precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. I'm going to bring up the website right here, right now, because they have a sick website. Right now, they have a special offer going on right now. It's this whole performance package. Look at this. I really love their products. I bought some for my boyfriend. I gave him this, what's it called? The lawnmower. I gave it to him a while back, and I swear to God, it worked. It made his junk look bigger. It's so good. The battery lasts up to 90 minutes. It comes with a really great recharging station. It's legit, waterproof, has a cutting-edge ceramic blade, and it will reduce any awkward grooming accidents. If you're a dude, give this a try. We all know what it's like to have awkward nicking your nuts, and then you're trying to have sex afterwards, and it's like, it doesn't feel great. And I think it's time to step up your tools. Look at this right now. 96% of partners think bad grooming is a major turnoff. Look at this guy. You get free boxers and a travel bag. This is amazing. Go to manscaped.com. I hope I don't get dinged for nudity. Come on, it's a torso. If you're a dude, give this a try. Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code CMP. You're going to get 20% off your entire order plus free shipping. They have a lot of really great products like this crop cleanser, crop preserver. Your junk is going to smell fantastic. And ladies, if you're listening, Valentine's Day is coming up. Roses are red, violets are blue. If he wants you to blow him, then shave down there too. I don't know. I'm not a poet, guys. I'm a comedian. But go to manscaped.com, use the promo code CMP, get 20% off your whole order. I know you guys, we're trying to keep this podcast free. I know a lot of you might skip past the ads, even though you shouldn't. But, just try to support our sponsors because this podcast is free. We're really trying to keep it that way. And the odds are, if you're listening to this, you might have a dick and balls. So I would say Manscaped is a pretty good place for you to go. You know what I mean? Just clean it up a little bit down there. Just clean it up. This episode is also sponsored by Cushy Dreams. Cushy Dreams has a full lineup of premium smokable CBD. They specialize in extraordinary CBD-rich hemp flower, which is bud. It comes in cans, and they also have these really great pre-rolled joints. They've got all these different strains. So this is Dream right here. They've got all these different strains of sativa indica blends, really for whatever you're trying. Oh, I can smell that. For whatever you're trying to do. This is the Hustle blend. This is the Peace blend, and it comes vacuum sealed to ensure quality and freshness. Every batch is made in a small batch to ensure that it has the most cannabinoids, 100% hand trimmed. It looks, feels, smells just like marijuana, but it's not. For me, I love it because it calms down my head, calms down my body. Weed is great and all, but sometimes you don't want to go to La La Land. You want to be productive. You want to relax, but not be too relaxed that you're on the couch for a few hours. Cushy Dreams is grown here in the USA, which is the best part, and it's legal in all 50 states. Join the men and women who are sick of vapes and gummies and want to smoke their CBD. Cushy Dreams. Yeah, baby. CushyDreams.com. Use the promo code CMP. You're going to get 20% off every order, plus free shipping. Guys, I mean, I don't know. I'm a big fan. So you're going to relax and you want to have nice shaved balls. What's wrong with that? Speaking of shaved balls, I'm so excited to have this guy on the pod today. He is a retired Army colonel. He's a lawyer. He's an author. I mean, what can he do? I don't know. He's He's pretty impressive.
Well, apparently I can't. Apparently I can't groom my genitals effectively without the Manscaped emergency kit, which I would keep in my car. It's nice to know that I'm a big one for burning down the rainforest.
You are.
Yeah, all I can think of is Stanley cutting his way through the African jungle, you know, and he comes here, Dr. Livingston, I presume. Nope, I'm a dick. I'm just in here buried under hair. You can manscape your way out. Then no more embarrassing encounters like this. So
Kurt
that's
Schlichter, everybody. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Here all night.
It's so great to have you. It looks like you're in a gilded, like, hotel bathroom almost.
I wish. It's even better. This is my wife's little den of iniquity here. See, I literally have to go outside to do podcasts.
You're outside right now?
I'm in a multi-million-dollar house, which has one room and a dirt floor. So that's kind of how my lifestyle is. There's literally no room here. My neighbors are actually in my house. So
wow.
it's so I'm like out here, and I've got these wonderful neighbors who are very deeply religious. So this should be fun. Los Angeles, the South Bay.
Okay. LA. Oh my God. So how is LA doing right now, other than
I don't care. I hope
in flames?
It's full of it's full of hobos and losers. You walk down the sidewalk, it's like you're stepping through a minefield of human waste and hypodermic needle punji sticks. It's kind of appalling.
Wow, so it's similar to New York in that way.
Yeah, it's New York New York is Disneyland for adults. I could take it for about 3 days, and then it's like I got to get out of there. And even Vegas isn't Vegas anymore. That's sad too. Everybody wears cargo shorts. You think it's the Rat Pack, but it's not the Rat Pack. It's just the rat.
It's just the rat. I know. Even the pizza rat has moved back home. Everything that was cool and great about New York, even the freaking pizza dragon rat has gotten out of town. All that's left are, I guess, a few comedians. I think crackheads and Michael Malice. I think, and myself are the few people left in New York. He's the best.
Michael comes out here. He comes out here. We go to Zanku Chicken. I'm the only. I think I'm like the most normal suburban guy he knows. He likes me. I provide diversity. I'm not interesting in any particular way. It's like, Kurt, what do you do on Sunday? Do you get up and sleep off a hangover? No, I go to church. He also wants to. I saw your CBD product. He also wants to introduce me to marijuana, of which I am unfamiliar.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, I would start it. I would like if you're are you an anxious guy? Do you have body pains?
No, I have problems with pot because I think the last thing America needs is a drug that makes you slower and less active.
Less productive.
It's not really mine. I mean, Coke would be good. I think. I still have the kind of that because I grew up in the '80s. I still have that kind of Miami Vice image of was it Hart Bachner in Die Hard trying to talk Hans Gruber into not capping him. That's kind of my thing, and I'm intrigued by it. I'm not going to say I'm not.
Good for you.
Wasn't there a scene where he was plowing some secretary on a table and he gets caught? I don't remember. Maybe it's a different Die Hard.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to get plowed on a desk. Oh well.
Well, yeah. We all have
good old. We all would.
I mean, who wouldn't?
So Kurt, tell us a little bit about yourself. How you came to be where you are today with the beliefs you have. A lot of people will ask the question of when did you become red pilled? But just sort
I
of
became red pilled in second grade, which would be 1972.
Oh wow! Okay.
I was watching Huntley and Brinkley on NBC News because that's the kind of guy I was. By the way, one of my greatest moments of my life was when I got to be on the McLaughlin group. God, that's sad. Some guys go, I aspire to do cheerleaders 2 at a time, like Bob Crane on New Year's, and instead I'm like, I got to sit next to Pat Buchanan and Eleanor Clift.
Ooh.
But anyway, it was 72, watching it. It's about the Vietnam War. And for some reason, they had decided that they were going to put big red crosses on military evac helicopters. Now I'm about 5 years old. And I said, that's really stupid because the goddamn communists are going to shoot them anyway. And I think that was when I got woke, Chrissy. I think that was when I got woke. So, I mean, we all have special moments. That's mine.
Wow, that's very early on. That's like,
Or it was before any pills. I had actually
yeah.
had my red pill.
Wow.
So
Man,
yeah, and I've never not been conservative. I grew up in the suburbs of San Francisco, about 20 miles south, right between Silicon Valley and San Francisco. I hate San Francisco with a burning passion. Um,
why?
who was the guy? I think it was Bobby Slayton who said it best. It's the city whose sidewalks make their own gravy. It's just a gross place. I despise it. It's full of people who think they're interesting because they have tattoos and piercings, and they're not interesting. And it's the least attractive women in America. I mean,
Really?
yes, they are. They are gross. New York, very attractive. Los Angeles, of course, they're very attractive. Orange County, it's ridiculous. But yeah, all of Texas is great.
Yeah,
San Francisco.
I've heard very pretty ladies are in Kansas or Kansas City.
Well, if
Somebody
you
told me
like
that
them
recently.
sturdy, if you like, yeah, I mean, look, I mean, if I'm putting away pemmican and jam for the winter, I want one of those sturdy pioneer women, But I'm a little more superficial than that. I am a trial lawyer, so. Uh, yeah, I grew up. I went to UC San Diego, which was the unfun San Diego school, and then I decided, well, I'm going to join the army. So I joined the army, became an officer. 30 years ago, right now, I was in Desert Storm as a platoon leader.
Wow.
I ran a heavily armed car wash. Um, my job was people would go, "Don't go in there. That's a contaminated area. It's full of chemical weapons." And I'd be like, "Oh, well, my job's to go in there." So that was
And
a
now I
great
have a
job.
tail.
That's it, exactly. That's why I actually convinced my children they had tails when they were kids. That was fun. So I switched. I got out. I went to law school because I figured it was better than being in the army. But I missed the army, so I joined the Guard, and then I did the Los Angeles riots with the Guard. My unit was in South Central, and
Wow.
I rolled into South Central during the riots without a gun. And of course, I'd sold all my guns in Germany, so I had no gun. And a cop stopped me. He goes, "Where are you going?" And I'm in uniform. I go, "I'm going into my army unit." He goes, "You got a gun?" I go, "No." He goes, "Sure you want to go in there?" I'm like, "No." So uh,
Wow.
that is one of my reasons for my great love of firearms. Yes,
Yeah,
I
no,
believe in the Second Amendment. It's not a suggestion.
it's good. I think a lot of people in the last year have really turned a corner on the Second Amendment. I think a lot of
Yeah,
people buying guns who would never have dreamed of it
and many
even
who
a year
shouldn't
ago.
dream of it. Okay, I mean, look, if you're a foot surgeon, you're making out like a bandit.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, holy shit, there are a lot of stupid people out there. But you got to try and be responsible.
there
So
really
anyway,
are.
so more about me because I am
Yes.
a trial lawyer. So let's focus on Kurt now. Went to law school, became a lawyer, civil lawyer. I defend companies and individuals in lawsuits. I defended Ben Shapiro when he got sued by Clockboy. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, we kicked that little fucking 11-year-old's ass.
An
So
11-year-old tried to sue Ben Shapiro?
yeah, I sure showed him.
Wait, was this
Yes,
was he like
that
special
Clockboy.
needs or something?
No, no, no. I mean,
I'm
he
thinking of
was
something
the
else.
he was the kid who had like the fake bomb, and it looked like a fake bomb. And Ben Shapiro essentially said it looked like a fake bomb, and they sued him, and they sued a bunch of other people, and we all won.
Wow.
But
Damn.
uh, um, I started writing for the humor paper at UC San Diego and the political paper, which kind of became one and the same. Then I wrote trivia questions during the 90s. You would go to you were probably like a fetus, but
Oh
you would
yeah.
go to bars and they would have these TV screens with trivia questions, and I would write the ones about TV. And you do a trivia question, then you do a joke. And mine were like 90% about how fat William Shatner was. And I mean, I'll tell you, I perpetually went to the Shatner well. Let me tell you, I got $350 a joke, bought a BMW with it. And I would go to these bars to watch people play this, and I would literally not be able to guess my own answers as fast as the drunks, losers, and barflies in the
Wow.
saloons could do. Uh, then I broke up with my girlfriend because her dog died, and I felt there was nothing left for us to hold us together.
I've
Um,
definitely stayed with people for their dogs,
I
for
know,
sure.
right? No, that makes perfect sense to me. And then I got to see her off with my classic goodbye. You're someone else's problem now.
Oh, girls
So
love that. We love hearing that.
I
Yeah.
know. The other thing is I saw somebody showed me her on Facebook, and she had a kid, and the kid looked like a fucking hobgoblin, and I was
Oh
just so like I was
no.
just so glad I kept that shit covered all the time, just
Meaning
because.
your
Yeah, I
penis.
last thing I
Yeah.
want to do is get breed some creature that's going to go torment Frodo, but I started doing stand up.
Oh
Just a little
wow.
bit, and I did around Los Angeles for about 4 years. I thought I was a better writer than performer. I mean, I could always people would always come, and I always made money, and I always distinguished myself by being sober and not having a lot of emotional needs that needed addressed. But it was I still have some comic friends, and they're all fucking crazy. But I was the normal one because I like had a job and a car, and it was like
Oh wow. Yeah.
it was like my car, and it wasn't like, well, I'm kind of borrowing it from my landlord, but not really. We got this. It's my fucking car. And I would do shows and stuff. It was good. And then I got married, and my wife would follow me, and she would sit in the back like this, going, "That's funny. It's funny. That's not funny.
So she
That's
was just
funny."
like appreciating and auditing your stuff.
Exactly.
Mhm.
We drive back. Hey, did the sodomy bit hit? Yeah, I don't know if this is a butt fucking crowd. Well, but so I did that till I got mobilized again because I was in the National Guard, mobilized, and well, we had a kid, so that kind of made hanging out in smoky, shitty bars uncomfortable. So I deployed for a year and a half. I actually met on the USO show a guy who had who had emceed some show I was at. I think it was Comedy Store. And he's like, "Kurt, how you doing, man?" And I'm like a colonel, right? And like in
Wow.
command of shit. All my troops are like, "What the fuck?"
You're like, you have
He's
to
like,
salute
"Hey,
me.
man, how you doing?" And I was like pissed at him because what's that fucking Eddie Griffin had come in, walked into the fucking store and took fucking over. So I had to wait till
Oh.
like 2:30 in the morning to go up and do my 5 minutes for a bunch of drunks who were
Oh.
looking for Eddie Griffin. And it's like, dude, it's not my fucking bit. So, and then after that, I just lawyered for a while till Andrew Breitbart found me. And long story short, I ended up writing for Breitbart. Then I wrote for Town Hall. Then people started calling me and asking me to be on radio shows, TV shows. I did a lot of Fox and podcasts. So here
Hmm.
I am.
Here you are.
But I've heard
Yes.
of you. I think you're very
Ooh.
interesting because
Oh my God.
you
Tell me
know
more.
they're trying to cancel you.
Oh yeah. Oh for
Fight the
sure.
power.
I get a lot of people telling me, especially people I haven't seen in many years, that I'm a domestic terrorist because I happen to be in DC
I
on
see.
January 6th. Nowhere near
Huh.
inside the building, but who
Well,
wants to look into facts? Yeah.
causation's always tough.
Who
You
needs
know,
proof, when it's so
yeah,
much more fun to
evidence,
just, yeah.
facts. It's all, I mean, when they interfere with the narrative, they're actually insurrectionists. So,
Oh my God. It's like relax. It's like if they wanted to
oh,
be
dear God.
insurrectionists, they fucking would have. It's if they wanted to come in and murder people, they could have easily. And that's not what they were trying to do. It's really crazy. It's
Yeah,
so dumb.
I mean, I was in the Los Angeles riots, and when I say in them, I was in South Central with a machine gun in a vehicle, and this was a fucking circle jerk with a bunch
This
of
was
people dressed
yeah,
like fucking
it was
Vikings,
a parade. Yeah.
and they're like, "And they defecated in Congress." I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Did they light anything on fire? Did they damage anything really? Any small businesses? No. And they
Yeah.
they act
So,
like, oh, we were AOC's like, we were afraid for our lives. It's like, shut up. It's like you
oh
guys are
God, that drama queen. She's like everybody's worst ex-girlfriend.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So how did
Oh.
you go from this to interviewing the likes of Sidney Powell? I mean, was it the Bright involvement with Breitbart that kind of
Yeah, I just kind of got. I now do a lot of guest hosting. I guest host for Hugh Hewitt, who is the most non-Chrissy human being on the planet. Great guy, very nice, wonderful guy. But I think sometimes I scare him.
oh yeah.
But yeah, but it's you know, it's got a chance for me to meet people. Sidney Powell I met because I was a lawyer. Uh, I am not a fan of the Kraken. Let me tell you.
What is the Kraken anyway?
I
I
have
feel
no
like it
fucking
never really
clue.
materialized. Was the Kraken supposed to be suddenly like the thing that was going to turn around the election?
Yes, some mysterious bit of evidence that was going to turn everything over. Now, my approach to being a conservative in the law is like my approach to what I also write books. Be good at the thing before you start being conservative. That is, do the law right before you start doing anything else. So there are basics when you're trying to bring a lawsuit. You gather facts and evidence. Now, I worked for the president for about 3 days up in Nevada before I caught COVID and had to stop.
No.
And we were lawyers first. We were looking at law, looking at facts, looking at evidence, putting together a coherent thing so we could go present evidence. And this Lynn Wood shit. I mean, my God, that guy ought to get the fucking Congressional Medal of whatever the fuck from President Asterisk, because he did more. He did more to help that son of a bitch than almost as much as the media covering up his rail banging son. Well, he's stripper banging too. Do you bang rails? Is that the right verb? I know
You mean
you
Hunter?
bang strippers. Yeah, Hoover. Yeah, him.
Yeah. God, I don't know. They did a really good job of sweeping all things Hunter related under the rug.
They actually swept it up with a small razor. They
chopped it up first. They put it into little lines and then swept it up.
Exactly. Yeah, and well, I hear, I don't think he was at the inauguration. I think they sent him back to Medellin. So it's
yeah, they're like,
nice.
we got to keep Hunter away from his niece.
Oh God. Oh, that's fucking. I mean, you look at people and you go, what was the fucking thought process?
What a
You
disgusting family. Yeah.
You're a healthy young lad. You like baseball and ice cream, and then you're Hoover Biden.
I blame his dad. I totally blame Joe. I blame his dad because I think he just was put into positions. Like, I think it was probably a combination of like wanting to be involved, wanting to impress dad. It's like, what are you going to say no to like a huge paying, job that you don't even really have to do? And it's just, it's in the family. It's like being in a mob family. What was he going to be like? No, I'm going to give this up and work at the bank. Like, I'm going to
he's John Gotti's son, Myron. The guy they sent out to get cannolis. Yeah, he's not. I mean, yeah, and imagine being a human being, an adult man who thinks that he needs to impress Joe Biden. Just let that roll around in your soul for a minute.
And I think he resorted to drug use to just try to blur out his life pretty much, just to like.
And various perversions. To quote music legend Peaches, he liked to fuck the pain away. So that's
Yes, it's that famous quote.
Yes. Hi, I'm Kurt Schlichter, lawyer, and I quoted Peaches, so that would be.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like supposedly there was evidence out there that Joe was involved in pedophilia, Hunter was involved.
Look, I'm as against pedophilia as the next guy who isn't a prominent Democrat, but I was kind of like, are you guys sure? I mean, I won't believe it. It's just, if you're going to go down that particular road, make sure at the end of the road there's some fucking evidence. Because otherwise you'll look like an asshole and you make people feel sorry for people. I mean, if you're going and calling John Podesta a freaking perv, and he's got a lot of problems, and your source is that you've read the menu at, what is it, Cosmic Pizza?
Comic Pizza.
Comet Pizza. That's not helping. It's not helping. I mean, look, there's plenty of pedo perverts out there. Epstein, who didn't kill himself, but it's just. My favorite were the guys who were like shocked that Mike Pence didn't end up getting arrested on January 6th. Well, what do you mean?
Yeah, that was going around. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That poor Pence. most loyal guy in the world. I'm a big Trump fan, but he let me down on this one. Yeah, most loyal guy on earth. The guy you'd let take your teenage daughter shopping, and
Yeah.
and Trump's like, come on, wave your your constitutional magic wand, and Pence is like, that's not a thing. I can't do any of that, and Trump throws him under the bus. That was, that was just not good.
How else did Trump let you down, or was it mostly that?
Look, I think he could have done better personnel choices. Personnel is policy. When I was commanding units, I would my thing was to massage the personnel. I would find the best people, and I always had the best units. I was a very, believe it or not, I was a very good military officer. And I would do that because I would find good people and bad people who were not fitting in. I would find new jobs for them. Hey, you got a great job. You can go up to division and you can pass out volleyballs. And it's a great gig. It's super. It's going to help you in your career. Just take your shit and go. Trump hired a bunch of bad people. He hired a few good people. A lot of the people he hired were disloyal. I think at times he didn't show the proper loyalty to them. I think that was just a mistake. But Trump is a cafeteria where you don't just get, okay, I'm going to get the steak, I'm going to get the donuts. No. You got to get the fucking lima beans and the peas, which are the shittiest vegetable on earth.
So you're getting a lot of things you might not want, but
yes,
a lot of good things too.
Yeah, anybody who tells you, gosh, I like Trump, except for the tweeting, it's like, then you don't fucking like Trump. It's all... Yeah. It's a unit. It's
part of the package. That's what people loved about him. Is he really exposed politicians and politics, and he really brought the people in. Whereas before, it's like you could get away with not caring about politics. I think before 2016, and he really opened it up. And I think in a good way. Ultimately, it's
I think he'll go down as a great president. He accomplished a lot. He did a lot of really good things. He could have done more. But like everybody, he's imperfect. But I mean, at least we didn't end up with that horrible Trader Joe's Chardonnay drinking monster in the moo or some Mitt Romney type. Good Lord.
Yeah.
He's got to be into some weird shit, right?
For sure. Yeah.
There's a fucking strap-on thing happening somehow around that. Yeah. I don't even want to fucking open that up. But I look at him. That's what
I should have done is prepared just a slideshow of different politicians' faces, and then we can guess what sort of sexual kinks they have.
Guess the kink, and they're not even going to be interesting ones. Yeah,
like feet. yeah. Next.
Feet. Come on.
Kissing in the dark. What? It's Pence.
Romantic walks.
Yeah.
It's like, for God's sake, Raymond Burr would hire young boys to go shit on him. I mean, that's fucking meaty.
Wow.
You could work with that.
That's definitely meaty.
But Eric Swalwell, I fuck Chinese spies. Conventionally, I'm usually on top. It doesn't last long. And foreplay consists of basically saying, check me out. I've been working out.
And you're hungry 3 hours later. I was waiting for you.
Yeah, you're horny 3 hours later. Okay. Yes, I knew that was coming.
Much better.
I knew that was coming. See, I told you I was a better writer than performer.
Yes. But I think that Trump did that was really important, and it's like there were some messy aspects to this as well, but really opening up the idea of free speech, because that is what activated me to get involved and to care about politics and to care about who was in charge and policies. And I think it's interesting because this idea of free speech versus hate speech. And now we have all this censorship going on our social media platforms. Well, then, so it's like, so I want to know, Kurt, what do you say to the people that are like, well, you agreed to the terms of service on this social media platform. What did you know what I mean? Like, what did you expect? It's not totally public and free.
Well, after my initial response is fuck you. then my response is, I have conservative principles. I'm a conservative guy, but I don't have any conservative principle that requires me to be less free. So if you have a principle that thinks, well, oh shit, I guess my damn principle at work better be a serf. I'm not doing that principle. In California, for instance, there are various code sections. The Unruh Act, which is a civil rights act, protects various minorities, also protects political affiliation. It was put in there for communists after the McCarthy era, of which this is actually a much, much worse and more dangerous example. So there are legal responses. My favorite, Pete, first of all, I've done First Amendment law. Second of all, I'm not a fucking idiot. So I've got a couple of advantages over most of the people talking about this shit. And here's the tell. When you talk about the First Amendment, which allows free speech, free press, right to petition, right to assemble, freedom of religion, if you're talking about the exceptions, which are very rare and very narrow, I mean, very narrow. I mean, you have to search through the case law to find cases where the court goes, well, in this case, it's okay. They're just not very many of them. Very, very few. And if that's all they're talking about, instead of the general principle, which is say whatever the fuck you want, then you know where they really stand. They're against the general principle because they're always trying to shoehorn everything into a fucking exception, and there aren't that many exceptions, and they don't understand the exception. If I see some dickhead tell me you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, okay, that's not that fucking law. It's not even close to law.
Because that person could be mentally ill or drunk or whatever.
Well, and it's not even a good analogy. I mean, they always latch on it. Well, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, and it's the same for saying that illegal aliens should be deported. Oh, you fucking morons. Here's one of the problems with all the people who think they're elite and think they're smart. They aren't. They're the most unaccomplished group of fucking people on earth. All our institutions came about around World War II, right? They're all 70 years old. They're all doddering. They're all falling apart. They're beset by technology first, but by the incompetence of their leadership. Now, if you talk about a guy like Henry Ford, right? These are cultural trust fund babies running things, Christy. Yeah. Or Christy, I'm sorry. If you look at Henry Ford had his faults, but he knew how to set up a company. His son, he invented the Mustang. Have you heard of the third Ford? How about the fourth one? He's probably sitting in front of a crack house right now, waiting to get his fucking rocks delivered. Greatness declines. And these guys are only in their position, these cultural trust fund babies, because they went to Harvard, which, trust me, is not impressive. It's not impressive. I treat Harvard lawyers like that rustic pervert treated Ned Beatty in Deliverance all the time. They are not impressive. And they're running this shit into the ground. Our country's falling apart. Our institutions need to change. Technology's forcing it. Joe Biden is an example of this revanchist idea where they're going to be, we're going to come back and we're going to hold on to this status quo, though it is demonstrably not working. It's not working for people on the right. It's not working for working people who see their jobs, shipping out to Szechuan. And it's not even working for leftists. I find myself having an incredible amount in common when it comes to doubting, that corporations should command me. No one should command me. God can command me. That's the chain of command. God, me, fuck you all. You ain't in the chain of command. But I find myself having a lot in common with the leftists until they start getting into their woke shit, which they use as a substitute for religion and family and love. It's amazing. We have this great country here, right? Defended and created by people who spilled a lot of blood to make this kind of oasis in the world. Now, I've lived all over the world. I've lived in Ukraine, and I've lived in Kosovo and in the Middle East, and most of the world sucks. But
who's that yelling in the background?
That's a poor little dog. The poor woman next door had a stroke, so we had to take her dog in for a little bit.
That's a dog. Upset. That's the name. That's a dog sound.
It's a dog sound.
I thought it was someone being possibly abused. I was like,
no, he's a very happy little dog. He just wants his mommy. It's terrifying.
Oh, what kind of dog?
He's like a little poodle guy.
Aw.
And he's like, oh my God, is there nobody home? I guess
Get the dog on the podcast.
I would, except he'd freak out. I usually bring my other dogs on the podcast. I'm like, here's
Aw.
Bitey. I got
Well,
a
then it would
dog.
become a pawcast, right? I'm sorry. You were on a really good roll. You had a
I
good
don't
thought
even.
going.
You just broke me.
That wokeism is a terrible substitute for family love and religion.
Well, yeah, and America, we have this great country. You can live in peace, and it's safe enough to be utterly frivolous, while you also have no challenges. There are no dragons to slay. There's no there. In the civil rights movement, if you were a 20-year-old kid going to college, you could go to the South. You could register black voters, and there were bad people there who wanted to hurt you and stop black people from voting. You could find somebody who's worthy to challenge in a crusade that gives you meaning and gives you pride and look, I got to tell you, when you're in a war or a struggle, it's very exciting. It's very you feel very alive. You can't get that here genuinely. Instead, they have to invent these boogeymen. Everybody's a racist. Yeah, I'm fighting everybody. It's the whole society. Now I got an enemy. Now I have meaning. I define myself by opposition to other people, or rather straw man images of them. It's weird and delusional and creepy, and I won't tolerate it. And I tell them they're stupid, and they say I'm racist. And I tell my Latin immigrant wife, hey, did you know I'm racist? And she said, see? So
you think this is folks are creating struggle. There's no struggle in their life, so they're creating hardships. They're creating victimhood. Why would someone do this? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard enough to work on your own shit, fix your own unhealthy patterns.
Yes, this allows you to avoid that.
Yeah, what a great distraction. Yeah.
Yeah, you look at these protester types, these Antifa types. Do these people look like they're in a healthy place?
They don't look like they have a to-do list. They don't look like, they don't look like they're cutting coupons or they're saving up for a house.
No, their social calendar is not filled.
No.
If you ask them, what do you think of mom and dad? I hate them.
I hate them. Other than paying for my existence.
Slam the door, crank the My Chemical Romance, write some poetry in the Dream Journal. It's just like these people are so fucking frivolous and stupid, and yet some people listen to it. If I was on the New York Times when Tom Cotton wrote that article saying, hey, we should use military force to suppress riots, which I disagreed with for reasons I wrote about in the law review article, but I think that's a view many people had, and you have it out, you have all sorts of views, and the whole newsroom explodes in this giant, a gooey orgasm of wokeness. And if I was the New York Times guy, I would have said, hey, come on in, let's talk about it. Sit down. Hi, I'm the editor of the New York fucking Times. There are 500 people for every one of you useless pieces of shit waiting for me to fire your ass, which I am going to do if you ever presume to fucking tell me how to run my paper again. You are 21 years old. You have a degree in gender studies. You are nothing. Get the fuck out.
I have a minor in women's studies, so that I felt that. I did feel that.
Did you learn about women?
I sure did. 4 classes worth. It was just like
I had to take 4 classes to get a minor?
I think so. I
would have done that.
4 to 6. I can't remember now.
Would it have been a great place to, because I like to try. I was interested in 2 things in college, which is Coors and getting laid. Would that have been like a viable, option for especially a conservative guy like me? Go in there, kind of the counter image thing. Yeah, because I hate you. I hate everything about you. And then pretty soon she's barking like a dog.
Maybe, yeah. It's
they're probably
like that.
I don't know. I'm just wondering. I've been married for 20 years. I am so fucking out of the game.
This is the marriage talking, yeah. But I want to get
But
back to your
we're going to
point.
do some. I think tonight we'll do some role playing game.
Ooh,
Women's studies major and the major. From the
and
infantry.
any real major.
We can do
I
that. That
really
would be hot.
I liked your point about
So
the crying fire in a movie theater, because
yeah.
that is an example that I've heard so many people
It's
use.
so stupid.
And here's the thing, it's like, if it's hate speech, like, we'll let people decide that. Like, if Mike Lindell started really, putting out a lot of hate speech, guess what? Probably after a while, people would stop buying his shit. And I always think, like, let the market decide on that. Like, don't censor comics. If they truly
Oh
are
my God.
spewing hate speech, let the market decide. Let people slowly but surely stop going to their shows. Let people unfollow them. Like, it is not up to the platforms to make the decisions of who is safe and who's not.
Well, they think it is. Now, I was every once in a while I go on the Twitter, and I got in a fight with a formerly well-known comic. Had a TV show like decades ago. Who?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's Chris Titus.
Oh, yeah. Aren't you a huge fan of his?
Yeah, I'm a Titus super fan. And he was like, well, we got to silence these people. I'm like, you're a comic, right? You're you
Putting the commie in
think
comic.
you're Lenny Bruce, but you're Irma fucking Bombeck. All right, it's just not. Just stop. And he just didn't get it. And I was like, you're supporting the establishment here. You're demanding that your comedy and all comedy, because he narked out somebody for telling some shitty joke on SNL. He was like, yeah, he must be kicked off. Love me.
Are you talking about Shane Gillis?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was just like, you're the fucking narc. You're the narc. You're not the rebel. You're not Blutarsky. You're Dean fucking Wormer. You're not even Dean Wormer. You're Dean Wormer's assistant.
I don't even know any of these references, but I totally agree.
Have you ever seen Animal House? Fuck.
I'm so young.
God damn.
I've seen it.
It's like, what country am I in? I mean, you turn 56 and everything fucking changes.
You don't look it, though. You don't look it, girl.
Well, I'm gonna go get some material about Lil Yachty, which apparently is a thing. Lil Yachty.
Lil Yachty.
Why are so many of these fucking rappers called Lil? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I have a lot of things. Maybe questions about.
They don't want to be
Lil Yachty, Lil Pump, Lil.
Yeah.
Which is alarming.
Yeah, I don't know. I really am very concerned about the dog.
Go see what's up with the dog. Okay, give me a minute. Talk.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
Okay. Kurt's gonna go check on this dog.
Hey, John.
That to me sounds like a woman screaming. I don't even know if there's a real dog here. I'll be so shocked if he comes back with a dog. I mean, I've been sitting here. You're all probably like, what are we listening to? It sounds like a woman screaming or a child. And I was like, do I need to call somebody? But I don't know. Kurt's pretty kooky. So,
all right, here I'm back.
It was a dog.
It was certainly the dog. I was like to my kid, "Can you make the dog stop?" The dog must learn to be alone.
Oh, like let him cry himself to sleep. I don't know if that's
like, holy shit! I wonder where you got that.
Yikes! Very nurturing.
Yeah. Yee. So anyway.
So how do you think the hate speech versus free speech has become? Do you think it is a political tool to silence the opposition, or are we just getting more sensitive as?
No. It's a calculated political tool to make it impossible to have contrary ideas to those of the establishment. And it's very interesting because there was a huge norm against this at one time. I know this is hard to believe, but you would see newspapers fighting for free speech, people fighting for supposedly the conservatives are the ones who wanted to burn books and stuff.
Right.
And the conservatives were like, no, not us. And there was this norm against it. And then somewhere along the way, somebody just kind of looked around and said, well, maybe we should ban stuff. Nothing happened. And somebody else goes, yeah, that would be super useful for us. Yeah, we could. And it just sort of blossomed into this giant turd blossom that is the whole free speech. And eventually they're all like, yeah, we got to move on. And what they'll do, and they'll never, ever, there's still not, the word free speech is so powerful, which is why I say, and censorship is so bad, which is why I say it's not enough to be pro-free speech. You have to be anti-censorship. Take that.
You have to be anti-racist and anti-censorship. or just, quietly not racist, and you don't have to like broadcast it every day to everybody you meet. You can just not obsess about it. I don't know. Call me crazy.
No. Yeah, and it's all, and the whole focus, exceptions. Always exceptions. Never the general rule. Ask them, well, what's the general rule? Well, there's an exception if you're, racist. Okay. All right. Not a thing.
Yeah. What is that? Like, because you see a lot of people throwing around the N-word, and it's fine, and it's colloquial slang, and it's a term of endearment. So it's like, okay, it's hate speech if someone says it, but fine if somebody else says it. So it's
double
now
standards.
We've made it totally subjective.
Double standards don't work in a normal, healthy society. And I occasionally rap music will waft through the air at my gym, and I'm always like staggered because I will not speak that word. Why will I not speak? Because I choose not to. Because I think it's an ugly word. I don't believe it. I don't like it. I won't say it. You want, if somebody else wants to say it, that's their thing. But I won't say it. I'm just like, this dude's up there, saying, and I'm like, and everybody's just.
Everyone's like, ooh, let's check my BMI.
Yeah. And I'm like, and then
isn't this such a powerful, dangerous word?
Yeah,
why is it being thrown around willy-nilly?
This justifies some 15-year-old TikTok chick losing her scholarship because she sang the lyrics of some idiotic song.
Wow.
And it's just, I don't, you have to have coherence, or people just decide it's all bullshit and they stop trying to operate based on reason and argument and facts. And I've actually been where they stopped arguing about reason, stopped arguing using reason and facts. It was called Kosovo. And I recalled walking through wrecked villages because they decided they weren't going to work out their problems like civilized adults, but they were going to freaking kill the other people. And the guys who started it didn't work out so good for them. That was their ruined villages. So when you start these fights, you don't necessarily win them. And it gets really bad when you lose. So I've actually physically seen and been in, right after it happened, just a year or two, a couple of years after it happened. So I am, I think I'm a little, maybe I'm a little emotionally invested in it, but this is a bad freaking idea. You start telling people they can't speak, it's not going to shut them up. It's going to piss them off. That's not some unique characteristic. That is human nature. And if you know anything about history, it doesn't, the status quo does not maintain forever. This idiot Francis Fukuyama, right after the fall of the Berlin Wall, wrote a pretty famous essay called "The End of History." Because we're done. The Soviet Union's done. America's ascended. History's over. And you look at that, and all you got to do is have read a history book once, and that's utter bullshit. Stuff changes, and right now we have a society that is throwing away every norm and value, particularly free speech, free press, and objective press, in order to maintain a shitty status quo for the benefit of incompetent, stupid, corrupt, and inexplicably arrogant elitists.
Yep. Wow.
So,
yeah, and it only truly benefits them. It doesn't benefit the rest of us. And What's your sense of the degree to which people are fed up with this? To me, it almost seems like they are trying to create radicals. They are pushing conservatives. They are silencing them.
No, they're just stupid.
They
No,
don't know
no,
what they're doing.
they're literally unwise. I know a lot of smart people. There are very few wise people. Wise people know about how human nature. They understand the nature of God and man is a good way to put it. But look at who these people are. Right? They went to Yale. Right? They worked their ass off in high school. Never got fucked. Never got drunk.
No hand jobs in the stairwell.
No hand jobs except by themselves, and that was bitter and ugly. I mean, I don't know how somebody can punish the primate reading Das Kapital, but they figured it out. So, I want to redistribute my spoo. So, they go to Yale, and then they go to grad school, and then they go into the New York Times, or they go into, some government job. And most of them have never swept out a fucking toilet. Okay, I mopped out toilets at the Carl's Jr. in Foster City, California. I worked at the counter at the McDonald's in Foster City, California, after I got fired for gross incompetence at the Carl's Jr. I have done shitty
It's tomato,
jobs.
then meat, then lettuce, then
exactly. Can't you even make a Big Mac, you piece of shit? But I'm gonna go shag my girlfriend in the walk-in. Well, I like it because when it's cold, her nipple. Anyway.
Wait, it sounds like you've met a lot of people that have gone to a Harvard or a Yale. I don't know. I don't have friends like that. I have friends with a lot of comedians. But it sounds like you're saying these aren't they're
not
the
impressive people
that they claim to be, that they're not.
No.
So, I mean, they are so hard to get into, but it sounds like what you're saying, it's more who you know and not how fucking smart you are.
It's not like they are stupid people. If you're going to teach somebody math, they'll probably pick it up pretty quick. They are unwise because they have no smarts about human nature. So they think, well, if we just suppress these, Texans with their guns more, they'll give up. Because I would.
Because I'm a pussy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Great Britain during the Blitz when Hitler decided he couldn't get across the Channel because of the British fleet. So he decided, I'm going to bomb the British into submission. So he sent the Luftwaffe over London. And they bombed London. And he thought this was going to break their spirits. No, they got pissed. Every time a bomb blew up one of their buildings or took out a city block or hit a train station or whatever and killed a bunch of people, the Brits got madder. And they became less likely to talk. They became, and that's how human nature works, for people who aren't complete pussies. And one of the problems is a lot of our ruling class are pussies. I have this test for a Republican Party. I don't think anybody should be a leader in the Republican Party unless he has gotten the shit kicked out of him. And it's important because you have to win, kick the shit out of somebody else. If you've never been a fist fight, you should never presume to rule over men and women who have life experience.
These sound like prison rules. I like it. Yeah.
Well, prison rules is just sort of high school with worse tats.
Keep your soap on a rope. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I like that. You have to get in a fight and you have to be able to defend yourself. You have to live have a little real life experience. Yeah. Clean toilet.
Exactly.
Scrub a floor, hold someone's hair back when they're puking. I don't know.
That's a classic. If you haven't done that, man, you haven't lived.
Or like my New York City version, which is you end up taking some random girl at a bar, like putting her in a cab, making sure she gets home.
Yep.
Walking her to her door. I mean, yeah.
You should live a little, and saying, well, I went to Antigua for a week. That's not living. Okay. If it's all inclusive, it doesn't count.
So they think that these tactics are going to silence the right, silence moderates, whoever, conservatives, but it's not. They're just getting more pissed. I think they're getting better organized. I think I'm starting to hear some promising things like we need our own servers, we need our own apps, of course, other than just Parler was Parler came out, but it was never like a smooth, sexy looking app. It's like Twitter was always daddy. It was always like the number one thing, just because it's easier to look at. And
It was a fraught relationship. Let's put it that way.
yeah, I really do have such a love-hate relationship with Twitter. I'm like, you can throw me down the stairs, just don't take away my followers. But like,
And
it
they've
seems
taken
like,
50,000 of mine.
oh God, right? I know, it's like, how much did you lose in the purge?
And
And
I'm
then I
like
think,
thinking, did I have that many bots and Q people following me? Because I fuck with Q pretty good.
what do you mean?
Oh, well, I think I was told it was bots and Q people, and I'm thinking I
Oh,
don't know if
right.
I have 50,000 Q people following me because I'm not sure. I'm not sure I was Q friendly. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
I don't
always, I don't think that's kind of the Harry Potter theory. Somebody's gonna wave a fucking magic wand and make it all better.
I was hearing a lot of like, he could still win. Here are Trump. Even like,
No,
even 2 days ago, here Trump still has paths to victory. I was like, I'm not
I
even
got,
going to watch this video because I'm going to get upset because I
I
can't get
got
my hopes.
I got so much grief because I was literally part of the legal team. I understood the legal challenges and how hard it is to win a legal election fight. But you got to win at
Wow.
least three. You would have to convince three judges to pick the winner of a presidential election in three different states. To say that is unlikely is to significantly understate how difficult it is. I think the
Wow.
fight was important because there were real issues with fraud and other irregularities. But, and I would tell people, okay, chances are he's not going to win. Yeah, he is, because Mike Pence can blow a trumpet, and, and the Supreme Court marshal's going to come in his red robe and castigate the electors. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, this guy, Q Master 69 on Twitter is said so, man. He's never been wrong. I mean, he's been telling me to follow the plan all along. It's just like, dude. Oh, and then it was like, oh, you're just giving up. Okay, I'm not. All right, it is not. It is not giving up when I ruthlessly and correctly evaluate a factual situation. I am a lawyer and an army
You're giving
officer.
up. You're looking at reality, Kurt.
Yeah, I'm telling you what's going to happen. It doesn't mean I like it. It doesn't mean I'm for it. It just means that's what's going to happen.
Hmm.
And maybe you should prepare for what's going to happen instead of, all these fucking guys on January 6th surprised that a bunch of cops didn't show up to take the whole fucking Senate into custody and ship them off to Gitmo. I mean, there were people who were like shocked. They're like, well, fucking Lynn Wood told me. Lynn Wood would lie to me?
Lynn Wood would never lie to me.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out when Lynn Wood became this fucking super lawyer. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
with this heavy rep. Okay, didn't have a heavy rep, just a fucking lawyer.
I guess he was good on Twitter. Where was your 10-part
I know,
rant,
right?
Kurt?
Right?
Come
Where was
on.
my Kraken?
Yeah, you gotta have a Kraken.
Yeah, I
You
had to
gotta,
manscape around it.
you gotta manscape. You
Get that in
gotta,
there.
yeah, you gotta smoke some CBD.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Kurt smoking dope. That's getting high on goofballs. I don't think anybody wants that, Chrissy. I really don't.
What do you see for the future of the media? Because to me, it seems like a lot of people are really fed up, checked out, over it. And then there's a small percentage of people that you're like, okay, they're just so brainwashed. They don't even know they're brainwashed. If you were to try to sit them down and explain the ways in which they're brainwashed, they would throw a fit and say you're in a cult. I'm like, yes, it's a cult. There's 75 million of us in a cult. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's a big cult. It's
yeah.
like Nexium, except does that make Trump Kevin Rentora or whatever the fuck his name was?
Bad analogy.
I don't know. It is a bad analogy. I'm gonna have to work on that one.
But it seems like, okay, it is good. We're seeing people branch out. We're seeing Newsmax, OAN. We're seeing more independent journalists. We're seeing more like internet personalities rise up and be our trusted sources instead of
you.
Like me. Oh my gosh, thank you.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. But no, you're look, that's a great point. My theory is there was an always do your worst issue. Twitter, do your worst. Okay, I'm going to throw a bunch of people off. And they threw a bunch of people off, and it's kind of like, okay, well, we've gone to other places. We're doing okay. doing fine. Fox, we were like, gosh, what if Fox? We lost Fox. Wouldn't that be a tragedy? Well, we did lose Fox.
Yeah, we're fine.
I used to do Fox 2-3 times a week. Now I think I've
Still
done
have
it 3
Tucker.
times in the last year. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tucker's woke as fuck.
Tucker's
But
great.
a lot of them are not, and they're moving people around and trying to get people back. I went on Fox about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was happy to. It was Laura Ingram's show. She wasn't there, but I went on. It was the first time since July I'd been on Fox, and again, I was going like 2-3 times a week.
Wow.
And I announced it on Twitter, and a bunch of people say, "Kurt, we love you because you're fucking amazing," but I won't watch Fox. And it was not like one dude, some bot with, a fucking bear avatar or some fucking shit. It was a lot of people.
Real people. Yeah.
It was like real people with real avatars. And they're just saying, I'm just done. So we figured out what happens when you don't have Fox in your life. Oh, okay. Well, now I got time for other shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, the ratings show it. It is plunging into the abyss, and they are making moves now. They fired a couple senior people.
Wow.
I don't know if that's going to mollify people. I don't know if you come back from this, but we'll see.
No, I think people are over. It's like a breakup. It's like Fox, you cheated on us. Like, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was like, and you cheated on me with somebody fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't like,
and dumb. Yeah.
It wasn't like Johnny Depp showed up and you decide, hey, I'm gonna.
That was your freebie, right? That was
I'm gonna let the love log slide down the phlegm flume. It didn't that.
No.
It was. Yeah, I decided to let Herbie, the overweight dungeon master, shag me in the shit box.
Yeah, it's like you banged the receptionist. I can say that because
exactly.
I've been the receptionist many times.
Well, so, I mean, that's certainly a scenario that people use to spice up their life every once in a while. I have a receptionist outfit that I like to wear sitting.
Wow.
So that's along with my cheerleader outfit.
Oh,
so,
wow.
In any case, it's just they shafted us. It was terrible. It's like, what are you guys thinking? And I know what they were thinking. They're thinking they got no place else to go. But in fact, people do have a place to go, which is somewhere else.
They'd rather go nowhere. They'd rather just like turn off the TV altogether and
my
fucking
TV
look at their
is
kids.
off.
Yeah,
my
mine
TV's
too.
off most of the time. I'll watch Tucker. And very rarely do we watch anything else. Unfortunately, for better or worse, means you have to communicate with other human beings. But that could be interesting, right?
Right. I'll watch clips. I'll watch I will check
Tucker's
in on
on YouTube.
Michael Malice, like Tim Young, Tim Pool.
Oh, Young.
He's great. Yeah, I was in DC with him during the insurrection. Yeah, we were both there.
Oh,
yeah,
shit. I haven't talked to him since. I used to talk to him every couple of days. He's into bourbon now.
He's obsessed with bourbon. I went to his apartment and he's like, I have 180 differort bourbons. I was like, damn.
I'm like, okay, don't talk to me anymore about bourbons or I'll start talking to you about fucking tort law.
What's tort law? Tort is law?
No. A tort is a non-contractual wrong. See, you don't want to go down this road.
I thought it was going to be a dessert, like a chocolate tort.
It's a great word. Anything that ort and oin are my two favorite syllables.
Like you're being a real tort right now.
Exactly. Man, you're a total tort. This is just a tort on me. I'm going to start verbing it.
Because they can't call it hate speech. I'll just make up insults. I'll call people like you're being a real cod basket right now. It's like, what? It's like, a fried basket of fish. That's what you are.
We call that a Biden. We call that Bidening.
Yeah. Just Bidening your time.
Just Bidening your time. Hey, what's the over under for how long before Kamala sends some brownies up to the fucking upper floor? And it's President Harris.
I think during this year. I mean, that's a generous guess.
If he's around by the end of if he's around this time next year, I'm going to be pretty fucking surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be like one of his clones or whatever. Like, I feel like every picture Jill's like holding him up.
Oh,
in some way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Jill.
Dr. Jill.
What kind of fucking person insists you call them doctor when they can't fucking prescribe you meds?
Yes, that's like a chiropractor going around like, excuse me, it's doctor.
Yeah,
Tell
man.
me,
If you can't get me oxy, I don't want you fucking bringing that shit up.
tell me, Kurt, about your books.
I write books hailed by Bill Crystal as appalling. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, he didn't like them. They are about America splits in two, and you have this hero, and he goes into Blue America, and it turns out it's like a giant college campus, except through the whole thing, and it's a lot of fun. I decided I wanted to write, if you want to read an adventure book on an airplane, I wanted to have that, but I want a conservative message. I wanted to be funny. I made there's lots of crazy stuff about how insane liberals could get, and here's the
Ooh.
problem, Chrissy. Liberals have literally gotten more crazy than my books. People are like, I used to think your book was predicting stuff. Now it's just like nonfiction.
Wow.
And I'm writing the sixth one right now. The last one went to number 29 on all of Amazon. That was Crisis.
Yes.
29.
Wow.
I
This
sold
one.
a lot of them.
Why do you
People
think this one did so well?
people have over the last 4 years have seen the other ones. If they read the other ones, they want to read this too. I, one of the nice things, one of the nice things about being a lawyer and writing a column all the time is you kind of learn to write quick, and you kind of learn to write stuff people want to read. Because if a judge doesn't want to read your shit, you lose. If you're a columnist, no one wants to read your shit. You go work for the fucking Bulwark. Also, if you've never made love to a woman. So it's, I think I've got a pretty good style down. I do kind of, especially in my columns, I do tend to write in joke format, which
Mm.
set up, punch, tag. The books have some of that too, and there's lots of little tangents where I just kind of take people down a road and show them something that's ridiculous, and then it's back to the shooting because there's lots of guns in it. I mean, if you just like action and stuff, it's fun for that. If you want to make fun of liberals, it's fun for that. If you want to see what's going to
Ooh.
happen in the future, it's fun for that. And people like it. Look, I got what 800, 900. I can't read it because I'm old.
925 ratings.
And it's average of 5 stars. Well,
Damn.
that's pretty powerful. Now, there's always that one guy with the unverified. He's not a verified purchaser, and he's like, Kurt Schlichter's a dick because he's a dick.
I
And
want to read one of your. See, the lowest review you have is not even. It's 3 stars.
3 stars.
Yeah, it's only 3
Mostly
stars.
political junk.
Was not a big fan of this book. There are
There
many
are many
holes
holes
in
in
it.
it.
Most of it was
Much like
disappointing.
Pamela.
I always look forward to the newest Kelly Turnbull story, but this one had so much about the left and the right that I found it tiring and boring. When you consider
Okay.
both left and right sides could care less, he spelled it careless, about the
I
American
see
people,
that.
it makes the propaganda in the story become a little much. Sorry, Kurt, but there are really no good guys left. Oh, this is his mom did not
God.
love him.
Oh, my dreams are dead, man.
This guy's mom did not hug him enough growing up. There are
He's
no
got
good
a
guys.
lot of issues.
All of them on both sides need to go. I'm personally hoping that they get all of a sudden a case of lead poisoning. The ending in this book was also poorly done, and Turnbull looks like an idiot. Plus, it makes way for, you can imagine, another book to finish this book.
What? Are you saying that I intentionally write books with the idea of writing more books? Next, you're going to tell me I sell them on purpose.
He wrote this review on December 19th. So this was the Christmas is coming. He's sad. He's alone. I can really tear apart a review fully. This is not about you, Kurt. This is a sad person taking it out through Amazon reviews. So
Well, I'm sorry that his life is an empty shell that he's going to fill with onanism and bitterness.
it sounds like he's gonna write another book.
and then at the last line, which you didn't get to the last line, he's like, I hope the next book's better.
He's probably gonna read it. I love it.
Yeah, so you could write a fucking review. I'm still disappointed. I'm continually disappointed. I'm like the chick you can't break up with.
Aww.
Yeah, but the sex is great.
Yeah.
She's a bitch.
I hate her, but she pays rent, so
she pays. She's got a job.
Yeah. She buys me ramen
Stuff.
noodles and stuff. Kurt, where can people find you, follow you, support you, check out more stuff? I guess other than Amazon, which I hate to plug
You
Amazon.
That's great. Well, that's where they are. Gotta make Jeff Bezos his cut. You can find me on Twitter at Kurt Schlichter. I'm now on Locals. That's Dave Rubin's thing.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm
yes, I
creating
got
my own community, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to do that.
it.
But I promise to give value. So just at Kurt Schlichter. It's the Schlichter Arena, which is I have this idea about calling my members gladiators. So
Why don't you call them Schlichters or Schlichter? I hardly knew her.
thank
Or
you. Thank you. By the way, my last name means mediator in German. I am a peacemaker.
ooh, do you know I'm
Isn't
German too? Mayor is German, I think, for Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I lived in Stuttgart for 2.5 years. What a fucking
Ooh.
shitty place that was. I fucking hated living in Germany. I'm like, I know why we got the fuck kicked out. Our
Yeah.
asses
I know
kicked
why
out of here
everyone is
250 years ago.
so harsh and humorless. It's because you
Oh
grew up.
my
Yeah.
God.
Mhm.
It's fucking the worst.
If there's any German
So,
listeners right now, apologies.
I know
But
there's some kraut named Fritz going, it was good until now.
Ich
I am
lebe in
angry.
Gerd.
I shall invade Poland. You're fucking Germans. But
Gotta love
yeah,
the
and
crowd.
I write at Town Hall every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And you can laugh and learn. There's nothing worse than a comedian who goes, it's important to laugh, but it's more important to learn.
No, it's more important to laugh.
Who's that fucking comic who had the show that the the critics collectively orgasmed over, and there was like zero jokes? Was it
Hannah
Hannah?
Gatsby? Hannah
Yeah,
Gatsby? Nanette? Yeah. Yes.
yeah.
Very
It's just
woke.
like
Hmm.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's just
That's what I consider to be hate speech, is her whole fucking act.
oh my God. Here's what I hate. I have lots of bitterness about comics. Here's what I hate in comics. The guy who gets up with the mic, hi, hello, hi everybody. My name's Donnie. I don't tell traditional jokes. I tell stories.
Ugh, you're like already too much exposition.
Fuck. Oh,
Just say it. You're not funny. You don't have a punchline.
you don't
We're
have
in
a prop.
for a long 5 minutes.
I'm a prop comic without props. Huh? Huh?
Huh? Huh? You want to give me props for that? Because I don't have any.
Or the classic, anybody got any weed?
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus H. Oh God.
That's why you gotta have CBD. Kurt, thank you
Get
so
around
much.
that problem. Thank you so
Kurt,
much for
thank you so
having
much for coming on. You're a delight. You're just a bundle of laughs and spontaneous fun. Have to have you back sometime. I feel like
Absolutely.
we all learned a little something, and yeah, good stuff.
We've
It's
all
all gonna be
laughed
okay,
and
guys.
learned.
Yeah, we laughed, we learned. Yeah, and I'll keep you in mind for the militia that
Well,
I'm
I
building.
appreciate that, and I want to thank you. Now I've got I got a lot of thinking to do manscaping wise.
Yeah,
So
shave your balls.
I want to make sure that everything's going on well down there. That's
and then stick them in your wife's mouth. I don't know. I don't
wow.
make it personal.
Yeah, she's Cuban. She doesn't. I don't stick anything anywhere with no permission.
Put it in a sandwich with. I don't know. I don't know what's in a Cuban sandwich. Meat.
Well, it's not testicles. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe where you're from.
Or as they say in Cuba, los testicoles.
Ooh, I'm having a hard time landing. I'm having a hard time landing this plane. All right.
Okay.
Kurt,
all right.
thank
Before
you
it
so
crashes.
much.
Adios. Thank you.
You're the best. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.